Hi there, it's Emma from FCS Associates here with the latest selection of grants and funding opportunities that I'm going to highlight to you this week. I will be focusing on a number of work placement and internship schemes that businesses and charities alike can take advantage of. And I also have a number of grants that I'd like to point out that will help with some business growth and recovery, and also some opportunities for charities and social enterprises. Let's go first of all to the FCS website, where as ever you will find everything I talk about listed here. So on grants, then under new grants, that will take us to the page. I'm going to focus on the 5 opportunities here, starting with KICKSTART. Now, I'm sure quite a lot of you have come across this scheme. It was launched quite a few months ago, but it's been created to help give new job placements for 16 to 24-year-olds who are on universal credit or who are at risk of long-term unemployment. Whatever size of business you are, you can apply for up to £1,500 per person. And this can be spread across the rest of this year until the end of December, so it doesn't need to start immediately. What I wanted to highlight is that there has been a change here, so you no longer need a minimum of 30 job placements to apply directly for a grant. So maybe take some time to consider that. This one here that I'm highlighting now, the Sheffield Hallam University Summer Internships, and also here the Sheffield Hallam and Sheffield College Skills and Growth Support. These are both separate schemes. Internships is, as the word suggests, an opportunity for businesses and charities to employ a graduate, and this can be for up to 100 hours, and this is free of charge to your organisation, and that will go up to £1,000 in terms of how it will help to support the student who's coming to help you out. They're particularly interested to hear from employers who can offer internships to graduates from the following degree types. So there's a real range there, which definitely is applicable to many businesses and charities in the region. The Sheffield Hallam and Sheffield College Skills and Growth Support is another opportunity that you could apply for. This is for SME startups and micro businesses, and it's a tailored business package to support innovation and develop new opportunities. So have a look at that one. I also have this one here, University of Sheffield. There's 2 different schemes here. There's internships and there's also workplace projects. These are 2 different schemes. They look quite similar, but if you have a look, the differences are that this first one here, the Santander University's Employability Scheme, are offering 10 £1,000 grants that SMEs and charities can take advantage of if you were to host a student, and as long as you can honour the 70 to 108 hours, that could be one for you. And we've got until the 11th of April to apply for that one. If you're not quite ready for that, this second scheme from the University of Sheffield Careers Service is SME funded projects. Now, this is just for SMEs, not, I'm afraid, charities as far as I can tell. But again, it's offering final students the opportunity to work on projects that are between 50 and 100 hours in length. This scheme will provide, as it says here, either £500 or £1,000, depending on the hours worked by the student. Excuse me, sorry. The final one here is the University of Derby. They've also got a scheme here for small businesses in Chesterfield and Derbyshire who can receive up to £7,000 in funding and support to recruit remotely based student and graduate talent into their workforce. This is something that I'm sure you'll all appreciate. We've seen an awful lot more of in the last 12 months, people working remotely. So that's a good fund to help boost bringing in students into your workforce who can work in that way. So the reason I wanted to highlight those 5 different opportunities from the FE and higher education institutes is that you've probably realised that they're around a lot of the time and they come and go at different points in the year. But it's always really worth looking, especially now as businesses and charities, organisations start to plan new activities as you're about to either open up again. So it may be worth considering taking in some of the expertise and that resource that the FE and HE institutions can actually offer, because it's not really going to cost your business any money at all. So if you've got specific projects or you've got a skills gap that you need to sort of plug at the moment, it's certainly worth, I think, at this moment in time, considering one of these work placement or internship schemes. I'll just quickly shuttle through some of the other opportunities I wanted to highlight as well this week. Sheffield City Council have launched the Economic Recovery Fund, and this is an opportunity for £2 million that's been set aside to create some economic recovery as the world starts to hopefully open up again in the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks. It will support city centre, district centres and local centres to reopen and try and get back on their feet. It's part of the council's business recovery plan as we move beyond COVID. So you can apply as it says here, if you're a private sector collaborator or with partner organisations, and there are 2 different types of projects, small and large. The first being for projects of up to £50,000 and the second for being for projects of up to £200,000. Small projects can apply on a rolling basis, and the larger projects, you've got a deadline of the 30th of April. That's actually only just an expression of interest, so you've got a little bit of time. I'd like to point out this one, the Youth Centre Recovery Fund. This is from the Julia and Hans Rousing Trust, and they are offering funding which is designed to help charities managing youth centres in England. They want to help pull them back from the risk of permanent closure due to lack of income, and also to maintain continuity of youth work and any activities that were paused. There is no limit on how much you can apply for. It's as requested. So that's certainly one to have a look at. You've got till the end of March to apply for that one. £2,500 or up to £2,500 is available from the Football Foundation to try and get grassroots football up and running again once we're allowed to do so safely. There's different amounts that different types of football organisations can apply for. So it's available to all the Women's National League clubs, disability leagues and professional club community organisations. Final opportunity, this one's opened up again the next round, the Social Enterprise Exchange. You can apply for up to £5,000 and you've got until the 22nd of April to do so. There's 2 strands to this scheme, and the scheme is aimed at start-up and existing social enterprises in and around Sheffield City region. So there is the Accelerate grants for startups and then the Transform grants for existing social enterprises. I'd highly recommend that you do contact your lead enterprise advisor before you want to apply for that. So it's worth looking out for that one, and you've got a little bit of time in order to apply for that. If you're keen on receiving more updates from us, you will find that we send a funding bulletin out once a week. If you go to the FCS website, I'll just show you exactly how to sign up for our bulletins. Here at the top of any of the pages, you can click on the subscribe to the grants and tenders bulletin, fill your details out, and that will appear in your inbox on a weekly basis. It will usually come out on a Tuesday. The final thing to flag is we have our next Charity Hub event scheduled for the 27th of April. Again, if you go onto our website, you can book your free ticket. It will be taking place virtually. And here you go, this is how you can book in. So that's an information sharing and networking event that is for charities. So that's all from me for now. I will see you in a couple of weeks, but in the meantime, please do make sure you sign up for the funding bulletin so that you're not missing anything that's coming out.